Did you follow Formula One at all?
No, I've never followed Formula One, but everybody's getting into it, so maybe I'll look at it.
It just wrapped up, and it's literally been the most exciting, interesting season in Formula One ever. And so I'm a new Formula One fan, so I'll fuck up about 10% of this. But there's this guy, Lewis Hamilton, came from a middle-class family, which is a real problem in motor racing, right? Because you want to come from a wealthy family that gave you an advantage so that you can dominate on the go-kart level, get noticed. You work your way up through the different Formula 3, 2, whatever. Lewis Hamilton got there with talent, which is pretty impressive. You know, I'm not saying he had bad cars, but he got sponsored. They noticed that this guy was something special, and he always did well. He makes it to the Formula One level, and he wins championships with maybe Alfa Romeo. I'm not positive. McLaren. It doesn't matter. But he got on the team with the best car, which the best drivers tend to find themselves there. But then something rare, he switched teams when they got the best car, McLaren's access. So thank you for that. So he was with McLaren. He won a couple championships, and then he switched to Mercedes, and then they had the best car, and he won some championships. And the guys won 7 championships, not in a row, but like 7 of the last 8 championships he's won, which is the most ever. And then the second best team is Red Bull. And I think they've been the second best team for at least 2 years now. I'm not sure. And this young Dutch dude, Verstappen, is making a run at him. And I've been watching all season long. And it seems like every time Verstappen makes a little mistake, it's very punishing in the points. Like it hurts him in his standings. Every time Lewis Hamilton makes a mistake, somehow it doesn't hurt. Like there's a safety car that comes out and bunches them all back together and gives them a saving grace. And they're like tied in the standings. Verstappen has the tiebreaker, which is interesting. But I think they had the exact same number of points coming into the last race. Whoever does better in the last race wins. Verstappen is driving like a fucking madman. And there's this so he can't intentionally crash them both, although that's happened in Formula One history. But if they do crash and they both get out, well, fuck it, I win. You know, and they look at this stuff with a very close lens. So, and they have all the metrics on what he did with the wheel and the pedals. And so you can't get away with it. But if it happens, then he wins. Anyway, so they go into the last race, and they're trading first place, first and second. These guys trade first and second in almost every race all year long. And there's an accident with like 3 laps to go. And they do a controversial thing because this isn't how they always handle it. They put the safety car out there. They take all the lapped cars, the unimportant cars, and they let them pass the safety car. They're like, just get the fuck out of the way. We're letting the 2 fucking big dogs race this out. Lewis Hamilton had a dominant lead. Gone. His lead is gone. Now Verstappen is right behind him. On top of that, Verstappen was able to stop and get fresh tires, which is a huge advantage. And Lewis Hamilton didn't. If he got stopped and got fresh tires, he would have given up first place, and he didn't. Verstappen didn't have first place, so he could do it and get his spot back. With 1 lap to go, with 3 miles left, there are like, I don't know how many Formula One races there are, but I can call it like 26 or something like that. It comes down not just to the last race, but the last lap of the last race. Hamilton has an advantage in that he's in front. Verstappen has an advantage in that he has fresher tires. Go. And it takes about half a lap, and Verstappen passes Hamilton in the very last race and prevents him from being the 8-time world championship, wins his first world championship. And as you said, Formula One's getting popular. There's newbie fans like me. And it just so happens that as all these new fans come on board, we got the best season, the most interesting, closest season in Formula One history. It was incredible. And some people feel like Verstappen was given too much of a chance, right? Because he was kind of far behind, and the safety car brought him together and gave him fresh tires. But maybe this is just me rationalizing, but with the way there was a race where Lewis Hamilton's teammate managed to crash into both Red Bull drivers at the same time and knock them both out of the race, and Hamilton gets first. And it's like, the fuck?
Did people think it was on purpose?
I did, but the world thinks I'm dumb.
Oh.
So
I don't know if even purposeful accidents are a thing that happen in Formula One. I didn't know.
They definitely are, but that's not how people saw this incident. But I do think like, and I think it was 2 races in a row that he was screwed in the race before when he went to let Lewis pass and Lewis drove right into him. So Zach just wrote that. I remember it differently. People felt like Verstappen brake checked him. There's these, we're getting into Formula One minutia, but Verstappen wanted Hamilton to pass him quickly because there was a good opportunity to repass coming up. So he hit the brakes super hard to force him to pass, and he forced him to crash into the back of him. And anyway, it was the best season ever. I'm still watching YouTube videos dissecting on what's fair, what's not fair, what kind of rule changes can come out of this. And like I'm excited for the sport to get more prominent because an amazing season happened just as people walked into it. Typically, like, you know, this is over with 3 races to go. It's really about what the other places are going to do. But this year, coming down to the last lap of the last race, and who knows what's going to happen. It was really, really cool. It was amazing.
It seems like a good ending, like someone new coming along and getting a win instead of like 8 in a row. That'd be kind of boring.
Right. Not in a row, but still 8 out of the last 9. That is too much. I mean, there's something to be said for a dynasty that makes it interesting, but the ideal situation is when you have like a Lakers Celtics, like back and forth, left and right. Not just one dude crushing it like a Air Jordan type thing. So anyway, Formula One was outstanding, and it's over. I'm kind of sad it's over, but next year I don't know what to expect. Red Bull, one, the people that make their engines, Honda, left Formula One. So what's plan B? 2, the Mercedes is a titan, and they're going to new cars next year. Now, this I only half understand, but Formula One gives them specs on what the car needs to comply to. And apparently Mercedes dedicated a lot of resources to make sure that next year is going to be good. Whereas Red Bull dedicated a lot of resources to win while we have a chance. So I don't know if next year, like, you can't tell which cars are going to be good under the new rules. We'll see.
Interesting. I'll try watching a race. They're not very long, are they? They're not like NASCAR.
I think they're shorter than NASCAR, but there's more that I feel like there's a lot happens. It depends on the track. Some races are hard to pass, and that sucks. And generally, every time they make rule changes, it's to facilitate more position changes because that makes the race fun to watch. And
I wish I could get into it. I've tried, but I don't know. I don't know what it is about it. There's something very impersonal about it. It almost doesn't seem like there's people in those fucking cars. They look so.
I agree.
Robotic. Yeah.
So it looks like there's machines out there racing because there are. I don't know, and it's not that like NASCAR either. It I really don't understand that. The guys are like, no, NASCAR's what's cool. It's like, I don't know. Those guys' cars look fucking slick, and they're going crazy fast. Like their tires are as wide as your hood. But I just don't. I really don't like any of it. I guess
I go back and forth on the lack of parity. So I think there's something cool about like, look, my car's not the same as yours. You know, you might be a better driver than me, but I have a faster car. Let's go. Let's see what's up. And then, you know, how can you find a way to take my seat? Because
I like that.
But then there's other times where it's like, it feels like this is a race between 2 people.
You know what I wish? And I don't understand why they don't do this. So like NASCAR is an acronym for like Is it North American Stock Car Auto Racing or National?
That sounds good.
It's one or the other. Maybe it's National Stock Car Auto Racing. In any case, the whole point is that these are stock cars, that everybody's supposed to be driving the same car. Then why do they let anyone have a fucking engineer or build their own car? Why doesn't NASCAR build 30 race cars, paint them however you want them painted, and then you show up on race day and adjust your seat and get in?
I object to the whole idea that those are cars. They're like, here comes this guy in a Ford Mustang. That car has no parts in common with a Ford Mustang. The headlights painted on are vaguely reminiscent.
But see, it's more representative of Ford engineering and know-how and in automotive sciences, right? It's like, oh, the people at Ford brought us this engineering. You know, I think it's more like that. But certainly,
In
I don't.
NASCAR.
I don't think like, yeah.
I didn't even know. So like, I thought
Right?
they were so similar. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not that familiar with it.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe,
I thought
now
that
I think
the
about it,
stock cars, they all have the same damn thing in them.
it should. Well, I know they're always tinkering with stuff. It's all the
Well,
same.
yeah.
No, you're right. You're right. No, yeah, you're right.
Certainly in the
What kind of
chassis,
engine-
they're the same.
What kind of engines are in them? I guess
don't know.
it's a Ford, Chevrolet, Toyota engine, right? Like each of them makes their own.
Maybe, but to a spec. I'm not sure
To a
how that
spec?
works.
Yeah, I'm very confused. I guess I've never really thought about it too much because it's not very interesting. Because it's a stupid fucking sport.